Welcome back everyone. Today we're going to talk about the best way to lower your blood sugar as a diabetic. The best and the easiest way. It doesn't take a lot of effort. Okay. Before we go over that, let me just do my little disclaimer for YouTube here. Everything that we discuss on this channel is not medical advice. If you want to seek medical advice, talk to your medical provider, your NPs, your nurse practitioners, your MDs, your DOs, your PAs, or your registered dietitians. Okay, now we've gotten past that. Let's talk about the best way to lower your blood sugar as a diabetic. So do you guys know what it is, guys? It's sleep. One of the most simple, easiest things there is to do, but most people just overlook it. They don't even consider it. So fluctuations in blood sugar, also known as blood glucose, can significantly affect your sleep patterns. If your glucose levels are not properly managed, it could be the cause of your sleep issues. Blood glucose levels can affect your sleep quality. Poorly managed glucose could lead to sleep issues. Sleep and blood sugar levels have a two-way relationship, guys. The quality of your sleep can influence the glucose levels, and similarly, your pre-sleep glucose levels can affect your sleep. So, direct relationship. The relationship is significant because sleep and physical health are interconnected, which I think you guys already know. We talked about exercising and all that good stuff, right? We'll have a video on that later on another time. But the CDC defines inadequate sleep as less than 7 hours in a 24-hour period. And individuals who regularly sleep less than this are more prone to health conditions like diabetes, like us, diabetics, obesity, and heart disease. So this is kind of going back into the metabolic syndrome realm. Therefore, managing your sleep habits can have a positive effect or impact on your health and lifespan. And the one way to do this is by monitoring your glucose levels. I'll tell you guys how I do it, or how I've been able to do it. I'm kind of strict, I think, at it. I don't stay up late anymore. I used to stay up late all the time. I don't do that anymore. I do go to bed late, but I don't stay up late anymore, and I try to get 8 hours worth of sleep if I can. So how does sleep affect your blood sugar? The relationship between sleep and your blood sugar level is intricate. Adequate sleep is crucial to your body to repair and restore itself. Insufficient sleep can lead to various changes in your body. So let's examine these one at a time. So sleep and insulin levels. Sleep influences hormone levels in your internal clock or circadian rhythm. And at the end, I'll tell you guys what I do to adjust my circadian rhythm so I'm ready to go to bed when I'm supposed to go to bed. This rhythm responds to environmental cues such as light and dark levels. A stable circadian rhythm can promote metabolic health, while disrupted rhythms can increase the risk of diabetes if you're a pre-diabetic, or make it worse if you're already a diabetic like us. So next is sleep and hunger hormones. Lack of sleep can disrupt the balance of leptin and ghrelin, the hormones that regulate appetite. This is the stuff that makes us hungry. Imbalanced leptin and ghrelin levels can lead to overeating and poor food choices, potentially increasing glucose levels. So you midnight snackers, this is for you guys, or about you guys. So what about sleep in the sympathetic nervous system? Have you ever even thought about this? This is your fight or flight response, right? So sleep deprivation can increase sympathetic nervous system activity, making it more hyper, which controls the body's fight or flight response. This can reduce insulin secretions and promote insulin resistance, leading to elevated blood sugar levels. So have you considered sleep and inflammation, guys? That's another issue with sleep. Lack of sleep can increase inflammation in the body, which, if chronic, can lead to conditions like metabolic syndrome, diabetes, heart disease, and obesity. Again, we're getting into that area of metabolic syndrome that we always talk about. So have you considered sleep and the brain function? What happens if you don't get enough sleep to your brain? Well, your brain uses glucose as the fuel, and insufficient sleep can decrease metabolic activity in the brain, affecting alertness, attention, decision making, and cognitive processes. You know, you wake up with that fog in the morning. That's your cognitive processes not operating the way they're supposed to. So what about body fat regulation in sleep? Sleep helps regulate body fat by controlling hunger hormones, insulin levels, and glucocorticoid levels. Disrupted sleep can lead to increased cortisol levels, promoting insulin resistance, weight gain, and potentially type 2 diabetes. So you know what cortisol is, right? That's the stress hormone. And have you ever noticed that cortisol, when you're under stress and for an extended period of time, cortisol causes you to gain weight, and that's what they're talking about here. Disrupted sleep can lead to increased cortisol levels and cause that issue. So while a lack of sleep can negatively impact glucose levels in various ways, a good night's sleep can help regulate these levels. But do you know what normal blood sugar should be overnight while you're sleeping? I apologize for the background noise. That's my dog chewing a bone. I always have one of my animals here hijacking my video. They wait till I start the video to do this. So I apologize, guys. So while you're sleeping, what happens to your blood sugar? Healthy individuals experience fluctuations in blood glucose levels while sleeping, typically staying within 70 to 100 milligrams per deciliter. That's healthy individuals. That's not us diabetics typically. There's extensive research on ideal morning fasting glucose values, typically between 70 to 90 milligrams per deciliter. However, less research exists on glucose levels during sleep. So like anything else with us diabetics, there's not enough research for anything. So we're going to have to figure out ourselves what number of hours works best for us in terms of sleeping at night and when we go to bed, when we wake up, you know, those things. It's recommended to aim for glucose readings within 70 to 100 milligrams per deciliter for most of the night, and to maintain a 24-hour average below 105 milligrams per deciliter. We as diabetics, that maintaining that 24 average of 105 is pretty difficult, to be honest, guys. I personally try to keep it at 120 or below daily. That's me. I mean, you do what your doctor tells you to do, or seek the advice of your doctor when it comes to this. It helps ensure optimal glucose levels. In the early morning hours, hormones like growth hormones, cortisol, catecholamines can cause a temporary increase in glucose known as dawn phenomenon. We've all experienced this. It's a spike in your blood sugar in the morning when you wake up, and it's pretty frustrating because if you're not taking the time to try to figure out what's going on, you pretty much don't figure it out. A lot of times your doctor can figure it out and tell you what's going on and how to deal with it. But this dawn phenomenon is a natural process that usually occurs between 4 and 8 a.m. depending on your sleep or wake cycles. For most people, glucose levels return to normal after a few hours. That's most people, not all of us diabetics. However, those with insulin resistance or diabetes may experience difficulty in reducing glucose levels after this morning surge. Yeah, just like I just mentioned, leading to potentially high blood sugar levels in the morning. So how do blood sugar levels impact sleep? We're going the other way around now. Sleep and blood sugar levels have a two-way relationship. Sleep affects blood sugar and vice versa. Like we mentioned earlier, high or low blood sugar can disrupt your sleep patterns. There's high blood sugar. There are several reasons why high blood sugar negatively impacts sleep. For instance, high pre-bedtime sugar levels can make it difficult to fall asleep and stay asleep due to their effects on the nervous system. So I think I mentioned earlier that the last time I eat for the evening is 6:30, and this is one of the reasons why, because I don't want high blood sugar at night while I'm trying to sleep. This can lead to insomnia and increased levels of cortisol and adrenaline, preventing full relaxation, and that's what I don't want. So that's why I don't go past 6:30 at night. Additionally, high sugar levels may prompt frequent urination as the kidneys attempt to flush out this excess sugar or glucose, causing sleep disruptions. I don't know about you, but I've experienced this, so I know many of you have as well. Dehydration and feelings of overeating due to high sugar levels can also disrupt sleep. So when there's low blood sugar can affect sleep in both diabetics and non-diabetics, or even pre-diabetics. It can be caused by stress, alcohol, insulin resistance, and other medical conditions. Symptoms of low blood sugar include dizziness, lightheadedness, and blurred vision. Low blood sugar can disrupt sleep by stimulating the release of cortisol and adrenaline. And adrenaline, hormones that increase alertness and the appetite. This can lead to overeating when one should be sleeping. Those midnight snackers I mentioned earlier. Further disrupting both glucose levels and the sleep-wake cycle. Low blood sugar can also cause insomnia, nightmares, sudden waking, sweating, contributing to a cycle of poor sleep and glucose control, guys. This cycle is not just about sleep duration. Sleep patterns also play a significant role in glucose control. Therefore, understanding these patterns is crucial for managing glucose levels. So, what sleep patterns do impact our blood sugar levels? Well, insufficient sleep, failing to get the recommended 7 hours of sleep per night as suggested by the CDC, the Center for Disease Control, can lead to poor sleep quality, which in turn raises blood sugar levels and increases the risk of insulin resistance. Sleep disruption, a night of restless sleep characterized by frequent interruptions, can negatively impact hormone regulation, including the insulin sensitivity and glucose tolerance. A study funded by the NHLBI, which is the National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute, indicates that individuals with disrupted sleep patterns and severe sleep apnea are more prone to elevated blood sugar levels. Even if the total amount of sleep is adequate, guys, the absence of deep sleep, which is your REM sleep, we'll talk about that in a minute, can still result in higher glucose levels. The NHLBI research also suggests that better sleep quality can contribute to improved blood sugar management. And I think we all know that, right? So the next thing is sleep insufficiency. Persistent sleep deprivation, sleep disruption, or a combination of both can result in sleep insufficiency, leading to decreased alertness, impaired performance, and overall health deterioration. So not just diabetes issues, overall health deterioration, guys. This condition can also cause insulin resistance or increase our insulin resistance as diabetics. A study showed that participants who slept for only 4 hours had an average of 40% higher glucose levels, reaching almost diabetic levels, and a 24% insulin sensitivity. So now REM sleep. REM sleep is a specific sleep stage that recurs at various intervals throughout the night. And REM stands for your rapid eye movement sleep. It's often associated with rapid eye movements, increased body movements, and accelerated heart and breathing rates. Typically, this is occurring when you're dreaming. REM sleep is considered vital for recovery and energy. Research indicates that during REM sleep, glucose levels decrease by approximately 5%, highlighting its positive impact on blood sugar control. So now that we've gone over all of that, let's talk about what I do, and then based on what I do, you can figure out what you're going to do and talk to your doctor and see what's going to work for you and hopefully get you on the right path, because this is an easy change you can make, guys. It's not giving up your best food, the stuff you want to eat. This is going to bed, getting a good night's sleep, and waking up refreshed and ready to go for the next day. So what do I do? If you're on a computer, there's some things you can do. I use a program called F.Lux, F.Lux. What it does, it adjusts the light on the computer, which is the blue light on the computer, depending on where I'm at in the world based on my zip code. And towards the evening, my computer screen gets a little bit more orange and a little bit more yellow. So in other words, what it does, it forces you as a human being to get sleepy when it gets closer to your bedtime. So what I do is I input when I wake up in the morning and when I go to bed at night. I just do that once, and then the computer knows what to do. The program knows what to do, and the program does that. So as we get later on in the evening here, my computer screen starts turning a little orange or a little yellow, and what that does is your eyes see that, and it gets into the brain, and all of a sudden you start to feel a little bit tired. So I don't eat any later than 6:30 p.m., which I mentioned earlier. I go to bed at 11 p.m. and I wake up at 7 a.m. So I usually get about 8 hours worth of sleep. I don't usually have a lot of issues sleeping. When I get up, I drink a glass of lukewarm water as soon as I get up to get me hydrated immediately. I check my blood sugar, check my blood pressure, because again, we're talking about metabolic syndrome, which is something that we diabetics deal with. Not all of us, but some of us. And I get on with my day while keeping in mind that what I eat, for the day and how much I'm going to eat for the day is important. And then I just do it all the next day again, guys. So, and incorporate some of the things I've talked about in the previous videos with this little cycle that I just discussed right now, what I do for my day, how I get up, I go to bed at night. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to go to bed at 11 p.m. at night. Try to get 8 hours or 7 hours of sleep, whatever that may mean to you. If you go to bed at 8 o'clock, go to bed at 8 o'clock. You go to bed at 9:30, go to bed at 9:30. But get that 7 to 8 hours worth of sleep, because that's the key. This is free, it's easy, and it's the best way to lower your blood sugar and stabilize your blood sugar, guys. It's pretty much, all I have for you guys today, but I would invite you to subscribe, like, share with other diabetics that need this information, and comment below. I'd like to know, what you're dealing with in terms of sleep. Are you able to sleep? Can't you sleep? If you can't sleep, why can't you sleep? And how is that affecting your blood sugar and things like that? I want to know how this information is helping you. So have a great day, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Thank you.